Instead, Sir Winston got a message from the universe. Imagine you're hanging out in the kitchen. Not your own kitchen, but the kitchen where you work. Your coworkers are preparing food as you chat together about another coworker, Betty, and her new boyfriend. You went to school with your best friend, so you know all the juicy gossip. You're about to spill all the dirt about how we used to hide under the desk to startle the teacher when your boss suddenly bursts into the room, interrupting just as the story was getting good. You have never seen him in the kitchen before. And this unexpected surprise does not last long. He asks you to quickly get out of the kitchen with everyone and down into the basement. Then, as quickly as he burst in, he left again. He was usually busy, so did not have much time to talk. You glance around at your coworkers and decide to start walking toward the basement. The basement. Why there? You forgot about Betty and her boyfriend for a moment until you reached the stairs. Unfortunately, your juicy story was again interrupted, this time by a loud explosion above you, and you're stunned into silence. After staying below for what seems like forever in the dingy and dusty basement, you finally ascend the stairs, or what's left of them, because an explosive had landed in the very kitchen you had been working in just a few moments ago. This story sounds terrifying, but it is very true. Not only did this happen during a battle in World War II, but the boss in the story, the one who warned everyone and interrupted the juicy goss, was none other than Winston Churchill. Sir Winston Churchill, who you could call babyface, but not to his face, and not be giving a compliment. He was leading the United Kingdom during the Battle of Britain. This event happened during an air raid by Germany. Here is the story of what happened by Sir Winston himself.
We were dining in the garden room of number 10 when the usual night raid began. The steel shutters had been closed. Several loud explosions occurred around us at no great distance, and presently a bomb fell, perhaps 100 years away, on the Horse Guards parade, making a great deal of noise. Suddenly I had a providential impulse. The kitchen in number 10 Downing Street is lofty and spacious, and looks out through a large plate glass window about 25 feet high. The butler and parlor maid continued to serve the dinner with complete detachment, but I became acutely aware of this big window. I got up abruptly, went into the kitchen, told the butler to put the dinner on the hot plate in the dining room, and ordered the cook and the other servants into the shelter. Such as it was. I had been seated again at the table only about 3 minutes when a really loud crash, close at hand, and a violent shock showed that the house had been struck. My detective came into the room and said much damage had been done. The kitchen, the pantry and the offices on the Treasury were shattered.
Now, we know who Winston Churchill is, but how did he know about the explosion? There are a few possible explanations. First explanation is that Winston Churchill knew that his home would be targeted by bombers ahead of time because of prior intelligence. When a war is going on, countries may have spies or a way to find out what your enemy plans to do ahead of time. Winston, as the Prime Minister, would be in a position to hear about his home or his employees being targeted. This is a possible explanation. However, I could not find any evidence of Winston hearing of a planned targeting of his home ahead of time, though someone might be able to come to this conclusion. But in that situation, if there was prior intel about targeting Downing Street, why not evacuate the employees far ahead of time? Now, second explanation is that this event happened just as Winston had said. He saw an explosion occur nearby, and he used his logic and intuition to guess that his home may be targeted or hit. So he rushed to warn his employees to take cover and likely saved lives. This is definitely possible. However, I could not find any account of the story from one of the staff members, unfortunately. So we can only base our opinion on this event on what Mr. Churchill said himself. The final explanation is one more magical. This explanation is that instead of using logic or instinct, instead Sir Winston got a message from the universe, or perhaps some deity, that his employees, the people who felt somewhat responsible for, were in danger. His feelings of responsibility and consideration caused him to jump into action to try to save them. Why one of the employees did not get this premonition themselves can't be explained, though. Winston Churchill was an extraordinary person, and who, if you look into history, was instrumental in preventing Germany from taking over all of Europe in World War II, prior to the United States getting involved. This explanation does not hold up, however, if you look at Winston's story of what happened. He says he saw other explosions nearby, and so he became concerned. And if we look at the possibility that he may have had intel from spies, we can also say that there are more possible explanations of how he knew to warn the staff other than something supernatural. But what do you think? What do you think the possible explanation is? Is it one of the three I talked about, or is there another, more sinister one? Please like, comment, and subscribe to hear more videos like this one. Ta-ta, my lovelies.